Welcome to Cut the COVID Crap. Cut the Woke Crap Part 3. I think the t shirt speaks for itself. Today we're going to talk about. What are we going to talk about?
Mm,
Transgenderism, right?
yeah. Hey, can we
Okay,
talk about my t-shirt as well? Very cool.
very cool. Um, so, transgenderism. Let's start with. Let's assume
Oh,
for.
is it called sexism? Or like, what do you call it? Transgenderism? Sexism?
Well,
Sexualityism?
there's a lot of isms, hey?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's start out by assuming for a split second. Imagine that you're a teenager, right?
Okay, that's not hard.
Okay. Imagine you come home and you say you want to be a pirate, right?
Okay.
Then
Wait, am I a toddler or a teenager?
you're a teenager.
Okay,
Yeah,
teenager.
teenager. Well, if you want to be a pirate, fair enough. You want to dress up like a pirate? No problem. No problem with that. Whether you should go to school dressed up as a pirate, maybe they have some
Yeah, if you have
restrictions.
uniform or something. You
That's
can't
right.
exactly bring a sword into school, though.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so I would support it to a certain degree. I would think it's a little bit strange, but like nothing bad either. I would support it for like if you're into pirates, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
However, if you want to be a proper pilot and be blind on one eye and like one wooden leg, and you suggest like, hey, hey, Dad, can I have one leg chopped off and
Replace it with a stump.
can I do this in my eye? I'd be like, nah, maybe not. Not a good idea.
Yeah, if
I
you
don't.
want, if
Yeah,
you want to do that, just put an eye patch over your eye.
that's right. Yeah, permanent damage, maybe not a good idea. Maybe you're very much into pirates, but like, why, why permanently damage yourself? If as an adult, like if I would do it, if I would be crazy enough to poke myself in the eye, yeah, I guess nobody can stop me, right? I mean, just like if I want to jump off a building, people cannot stop me either. Like if you want to do self harm, yeah, that's your own
Yeah.
choice as an adult. As as a parent, speaking to a teenager or taking care of a teenager, you don't want to stimulate
Violence.
crazy violence or permanent damage to your body,
I
right?
actually I want to say something.
Sure.
Like those circumstances for being a pirate, or like even anything, would be like very, 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 very small amount of the time. Like if you were caught in an explosion, piece of shrapnel took out your eye, and your leg got blown off.
Yeah, yeah.
Then it might be fair enough that if you're gonna live like that, might as well try and look like a pirate.
That's right.
But these are very minimal circumstances. You
Right.
shouldn't just do it if it's you shouldn't do it on purpose. Let's say.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, as an adult, you can decide for yourself.
True.
As an adult, you really want to harm yourself. Yeah,
It's your own choice.
it's your own choice.
Just don't do it in front of like 3-year-olds.
That too. But when as an adult, you're also responsible for your children up to a certain age, and that gradually, they get more responsibility themselves. But if you want to be a pirate, no problem. But permanent damage to your body, no, no, not gonna tolerate it, not gonna accept that until much later. I mean, at what point you can decide it for yourself? Like maybe I can push back for years against permanent damage, um, but not straight away anyway. So the link to trans people. There's
Or like binary people.
well, let's start off with changing gender or sex, whatever you want to call it.
Okay, sure.
You're you're born as a male. If you come home and you say like, you know what, I want to be a girl. Well, I have the same approach. Like, it's a bit strange, but like if you want to dress like a girl, if you want to grow your hair, no problem. If you want to dress like a girl, no problem. It's maybe a little bit odd if you go to an all boys school to there may be standards there, but like maybe as a teenager, now probably all teenager at some point They have they have got new hormones uh, jetting through their bodies, and um, things are a little bit strange for them. But having a wish to identify as something else than you're born with, mm, it's maybe a little bit strange, but no problem with that. However, if you want to
Get an
have your
operation.
get an operation, have your penis cut off or something, like no, that's not going to happen. And you know what? In America, there are already some laws in some states
In
that
schools, like some if a girl wants to be lesbian, uh, because just because she doesn't even know what that means and all her friends are like that.
yeah
Then the school can't tell her parents.
that
Is
yeah
that
but
what you're trying to say?
that's
Possibly.
part of it. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
Some schools um, are not obliged to notify the parents with let's say gender or sexuality related stuff. And I'm thinking like uh, you have the first responsibility for a kid is as a parent, and you should be informed of all the relevant stuff that is happening at school. So the laws that I'm referring to is the gender affirming laws. So if a teenager kid decides like, oh, I want to be different gender,
Okay.
then the parents should allow it and should support it. And that's where I think you have to draw the line as a parent.
Yeah.
No matter what the law is, and I'll try to say this carefully, I'm not saying you have to go against the law, but there are responsibility as parents that I think supersede the law. If the law says, okay, your 14-year-old child is born as male, wants to be female, you have to support that decision. If his wish is to get his genitals cut off, you have to support as parent. I say no. I don't care if the law says that. I stand up against that. Even if this law says as a parent you have to support it, I say like that's where the law has gone wrong, and I as a parent am willing to face any consequence to to with my objection against that. I would stop my child to get operation if he's young. If he's like 14 years old, I would definitely I would talk about the subject, and I would see where the wish comes from, and I wouldn't stop dressing differently and see over time, over years maybe, if this is a serious wish. And at some point, the grown up kid can decide for him or herself what he like. If there's something as serious as an operation, that if he's still behind that basically, but it takes a long time of consideration, talking with parents, with the psychologist maybe, but like to immediately support it. No, as a parent, you have the moral obligation to stand up for taking care of your kid, even if it goes against the law. And I'm not saying like break the law at all times, but some laws when it comes to transgender have gone too far. I think.
Yeah, and I think one dad did it. Was it in California when his daughter was he was divorced with his wife? I'm pretty sure.
I think you're referring to Canadian case.
Oh,
Yeah,
a Canadian case. Okay, sorry. California, Canadian, same thing.
Kaka.
You know what caca means, right?
Hmm.
Ah, whatever. Uh, well, it is kind of a caca story. Anyways, so the girl she came to her mother one day. She said she wanted to become a boy,
Yeah,
and her mother approved. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure. And then but you have to get it from both parents.
Yeah.
And she went to her dad a couple of days later, right?
Yeah.
And then then she just asked him. He just refused on the spot, and
Yeah.
then he was in prison for 7 years, and she got her operation, Right.
Yeah, I think something like that. I think she went to the hospital, and the hospital called her dad, and the dad said, "No friggin' way."
Like literally.
Well, I don't know, but he refused anyway. And then he got taken to court, and I think they won at 7 years against him. But I think the court case is still pending, so it's they're asking for 7 years imprisonment, and that's the thing. The thing, like,
The US is mocked up.
yeah, or Canada for that matter. But
Both of them, anyways.
yeah, and it's very much state dependent.
Oh,
But,
true. Like California, Texas.
But that's on some things you should not look at, like, oh, what does the state say, but at some point, some things, as parents, how you treat your kids, yeah, you have your own moral views, and they supersede whatever the law says. And again, I'm not saying like go against the law at all times, but some laws, yeah, sorry, as a parent, you have the responsibility not to follow the law, but to do good, to what is good for your kids.
Moral responsibility.
Yeah. The laws will change if people stand up often enough. The laws will change, and I got nothing against people that want to change their gender. If
And that's their choice.
That's their choice. If they're adults, if they're responsible, fair enough. Just like people wanted to
What about
jump off a bridge, that's their choice. I'm not going to stop it.
yeah? What about kids that don't have parents though?
Or there will be a guardian or something,
Okay.
which will have the same role. So
Got it.
yeah, and I think it's also important, and that's sort of the message that I try to give always. Don't let these things divide you. There's a very small percentage, way less than 1% of people that want to be transgender. I mean, there's a larger percentage of people that are homosexual, or that have doubts about their sexuality, but way less trans. If they want to be trans, fine. And how far you should support them. Don't let these things divide you, right? If you get pressure at school from, like, oh, I want to belong to a trans group, da da da. No, you gotta think for yourself. You don't need to belong to a pro group or a con group. You gotta think for yourself. How do you feel in your own body? And especially what is pushed from above, ignore that. Think for yourself. Think for people. Talk with people that know you, but don't let it divide you. These kind of things.
Yeah. Anything else on this subject? Do you think?
I think we can keep it at this. Yeah.
Or what about that thing that happened in Australia a couple of days ago?
Let's do that for another video. Let's keep it a short one.
Okay.
See you next time.
See you next time.